this engine, 272, a major issue is you've got intake manifold switchover valve control faults. Can cause a variety of issues. Poor running, check engine light. To get to that manifold, your first step is you have to get the engine computer out of the way. To do that, you disconnect the engine wiring harness, and then these two connectors that are over here, and you just lay it aside. You do not want to disconnect the computer from the car. Next you'll go around and you disconnect all your different coils, injectors, sensors that run all the way around the engine. That way you can get the harness out of the way. All of the bolts have already been taken out, everything's disconnected, just to make it easier to show you what's happening. The next thing I do is I unbolt your fuel rail. Next I unbolt the fuel rail and slowly pry it up. This has already been pried up to show you. I leave the injectors in the rails, that way you do not open the fuel system. We will clean these seals up, we'll make sure everything's clean going back together. But you just take that and then set it aside. Then the next thing, you just have 8 bolts that hold the intake manifold down. And then it just lifts out. And your issue is right there. That piece should attach right there.
Show it one more time.
This rod, when it actuates, should move up and down with that. It does not.
Anything else? Show the flaps.
Do this.
Oh, that's the new one.
So here's the new one. It's attached. When you move this, everything moves and it springs back on its own. What this controls are these flaps right here. To switch between a long intake runner and a short intake runner, keeping your intake at optimal performance at all times.
That's it.
Yep.
Thank you. Anything that you need to mention here?
All of this oil, everything in here will get cleaned up. Because if anything is on this mating surface, you will get rough running conditions, and it just creates a vacuum leak in the engine.
The EHA.
I'm going to reinstall the throttle actuator onto the new intake manifold. It comes with its own gasket.
It's fairly clean too.
It's always important to clean these when reinstalling.
So you cleaned it?
Yes, it's freshly cleaned. And they will be tough to go in because these are self-tapping screws and they will need to be tapped. So they cannot just be screwed in hand tight.